Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name's Dr. P. From the comment section of my last video, we have Red Shamrock, who says, hey, if you take a close look at the stealth surveillance loading screen, it looks like there is a person on Dr. Sloan's communication. The very first thing I did, of course, was look up what in the heck is the stealth surveillance loading screen. Luckily, it turned out to be the one we discussed in the last video, which of course is this one, and it shows the order inside of the IO's base kind of hiding out on top of some sort of vent or pipe. That's nothing new, but we never really talked about what's on Sloan's device. And yes, you can see it definitely looks like some sort of holographic person, or at least something on the hologram indicating someone. That's what I think, and I think there are a couple options. Number one, it could be an indicator that the order is about to get caught, because that's some sort of heat signature or some sort of detection system that's telling Sloan right before this confidential meeting that the order, someone specifically, is there trying to eavesdrop, which is probably what the order is trying to do here. Well, she might be going after the files of the sisters, but I don't know. The other option is it's like a super futuristic Zoom call, and they're getting ready to perform this top secret meeting, which the order is now eavesdropping on. If that's true, who could be on the other end of this Zoom call? Could it be Gino? Gino isn't officially confirmed to even be a person yet, technically, but it's almost certainly a person. And this theory would make sense if Gino turns out to be the leader of the imagined order. Next up, we have Dark Angel, who says maybe the sisters were put inside the IO as spies so that they can provide them of course being the Seven, with info about everything happening inside the order, and they were possibly discovered by the IO and got their memories wiped so that they cannot remember anything about their past. And I think that's why the Foundation needed them to help give out what they know and beat the IO. Plus, the Imagine's description literally says that her past is the key to the future, so maybe she knows something about the IO that nobody does. Love your vids, Doc. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, bro. This theory is suggesting that the Seven put the two sisters inside of the IO and even gave them those names intentionally, so maybe they would fit in? I don't know. But at some point they were discovered by the IO and then had their mind wiped so they would forget anything about the Seven, and then at that point, what else do they know except the IO? So then they think they're actual members of the IO, and now the Seven are trying to get them back and rid their memory. I swear, man, these Fortnite theories never cease to amaze me. The Imagine's description does indeed say that her past is the key to our future, so no matter what, regardless of whatever theory about the order, about the Imagined actually turns out to be true, one way or the other, their past is the key to the future, which really puts into perspective how important those IO files are if the Imagined and the Origin end up actually having those files that exist because they were previously part of the organization. Tater OTF says, considering the Foundation needed Jones to get to the sisters, the IO probably wiped their memories at some point. This would mean the sisters were still with the IO during Season 17. In case you're lazy like me, that means Chapter 2, Season 7, since that was when the IO were finishing their mind-wiping technology, the very same technology they ended up trying to use on Jones in the next season. But the Foundation only mentioning Gino during the end event and not the sisters makes me think that they already had the sisters at that point. I hope they don't leave a plot hole by saying they got their memory wiped sooner. This one has a ton of moving parts, and I had to reread this several times to fully understand what was being said, but let me lay it out for you. During the Zero Crisis finale event back in Chapter 2, the Foundation was about to literally kill Jones until he revealed that he could be of use in locating the sisters and Gino. Fast forward to the Chapter 2 Season 8 finale, and Gino is mentioned yet again by the Foundation, but there are no mentions of the sisters. A slight, yet potentially very revealing piece of information being said on Fortnite's biggest stage, of course, their live events. Even though we did not get the sisters until this season, is it possible that this time 2 seasons ago, the sisters had already been taken back from the IO? As said in the theory, it would be really unfortunate if a plot hole were to be created by us finding out that the Imagined and potentially the Order got their minds wiped prior to Chapter 2 Season 7, because that's pretty much when their technology to do so came to be. Next up, we have Tedious X, who says, a comment that you featured in this video says that Jones could be the sister's brother, and I've actually had this theory for a long time. It makes sense because within just meeting each other, they fight together during the comic. They have had parties together and have had deep chats about their childhood past, so for them to be siblings is not at all far-fetched. I was just curious, so I did a little digging onto both Save the World and to the Battle Royale side of things, and I cannot come across anything that mentions that Jones has a sister, let alone two. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but just so you know. Inside of the Zero War trailer, you can see the Imagined fighting alongside Jones within brief moments of just meeting her. Also, just in this update, we discovered that there was a pretty massive party in which Jones and the Imagined had deep, long chats, and the Imagined was even asking for where the IO kept their files. The Imagined, she got her mind wiped, so even if she did have a brother, she wouldn't know. But surely Jones, if this were true, right? Like, he would know her, he would know his own sister. It's not like he also had his mind wiped? That's debatable, and even if he did have his mind wiped, it's nowhere near even close to being as bad as the Imagine's case. Look, fact of the matter is, in the Chapter 2 Season 8 finale, Jones was sitting there in the chair with the device around his head, and they even turned it on and it was working for a little bit. So who's to say some very minor, some very small, or at least various memories here and there were not taken from him? We know how good the IO's technology is, top of the line stuff, so I mean, who knows, it could be fast acting. Ethan says, what if all the members of the Seven were once part of the IO but then rebelled against them? Since the characters of the Seven for the most part are safe from the loop because of their suits, and since the IO's mind-wiping technology has theoretically only been out for a couple seasons, there's no possibility of them being mind-wiped that we know of, and so they should be able to remember everything, and including their IO past, and if that were true, we would have probably known something about that by now. Hey, thanks so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. Hey, if you're new, click that subscribe button for unparalleled Fortnite theories. Be sure to click onto the next video and keep the party rolling. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!